program that defends against anybody, anywhere, anytime, and has for years. You get a season high in points for them. What's the significance of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a challenge. I mean, it was keeping me up the last couple of nights on figuring out how to score. And, the problem that comes with them is they're scoring droughts. It's not just scoring, but, I mean, they can shut out a team for 5, 6, 7 minutes sometimes. And those are the ones that's hard to overcome. And we kind of had to find a way, sometimes in possession, sometimes in the game, to end the drought, end those things. And their scheme is unbelievable, really good. They cover for each other. Ziegler, Meshack are elite defensive players. So we knew it was a challenge. I think our guys were playing the right way. And the ball found the open guy. The ball was moving. We executed, got good shots there. And that was better than what we've done some previous games.
How nerve-wracking was the last minute and a half, just the way that was following?
Yeah, I mean, it was tough. I mean, there was some frustrating things that happened in the last 2 minutes. And, there's some things that are out of your control. And if something goes against you and there's still time on the clock, you got to figure out a way. And, the guys had a good job of being resilient and went to the next play. And, we'll learn from those situations too. You learn from the wins, learn from the losses. And there was a possession to her there. We wish she had done better. But then there was some, like a block like Chris Magnon at the end and some other things at the end, and even saving the ball at the end. If the ball goes out of bounds, I think Jason Edwards saved it. They got another chance, and just saving it and throwing it back. Just little plays, and guys kept fighting, and it kind of shows who they are. And they were brought here for a reason, and I heard about those attributes before they got here, and they demonstrated that tonight.
You've been a head coach for over 10 years. How does a game like this, the fun, energy, everything, how does it stack up compared to some of your favorites over the years?
I'm an even kill guy, so you're not getting much out of me. I'm on to the next. I'm on to Alabama. I walked off the court, didn't want to get run over. And then I was thinking about things we're going to do next. You celebrate things like this as a staff, in the spring and all season. But right now we know it's a challenge coming up next. I told the guys I'll give them the day to enjoy this. And then tomorrow we'll have a tough practice.
How can things like this galvanize, though, a fan base and a community when you see the success like this, just like it was with the football program?
Yeah, I mean, that was my feeling when I walked off the court. I was happy for our players. I was happy for the fans and former players, alumni, and when you're trying to build something, you want people to buy in. You want them to support, and sometimes they're apprehensive until they see results. And they showed up, and they had a great environment, great crowd. They helped us win. And I could tell you guys, when we lost against Mississippi State, I was really upset, distraught, because we had a great crowd against Mississippi State, and I was sitting here thinking, I was like, all right, we got to get them to come back, and we got to be able to believe in us. And today, seeing this, and I know they can walk around with pride on the V on their shirts and things like that. That makes me feel good that they can do that right now.
How important? The challenge in not having them get complacent, especially with the tough schedule that Alabama, Kentucky still.
It's so daunting when you look at everything, and Alabama's a Final Four team. I don't think it's impossible to overlook them. Tough environment, road environment. So, what we'll do is what we do, same things. We chop wood, carry water. Come back tomorrow. Let's figure out what we did right, figure out what we did wrong, prepare the best we can for Alabama.
How important were Tyler Nichols' threes tonight? The one before the half, and then several others in the first half, the extended leads.
Yeah, I mean, it stretched out the defense, and actually a lot of those layups we got in the second half were due to the threat of him. And so he did make threes, he made big shots, but the threat of him actually opened up other guys too. And I was trying to find different ways to get him shots, or at least make him a threat so they'd have to worry about it. And AJ made some nice passes to him. I know a couple other guys, and he's such a hard worker. I mean, he almost overworks. I want to tell him, hey, go watch a movie sometimes. He's in the gym nonstop. And I worry about him going too much, going too hard, because he was in a little shooting slump. But he's put in the work. He deserved a night like this.
Mark, you talked about the buy-in from the fans. The buy-in from the roster you put together. I mean, you bring all these guys in to get them to buy into what you're asking them to do on the court, and to do it this effectively, this quickly. How much has that been a big key for what you've done so far?
Well, we do a quote every day. And the quote 2 days ago was "No sacrifice, no victory." And it's a team game. And there's times where you want to do something, but it's not your time. You got to help support your teammates. And we always talk about our culture of being happy for your teammates. Your time's coming. and that karma will work out for you. And they've seen it this year. So it's not just me, coach talk and everything else. They've seen their teammates do things. They're happy for them. And then their time comes as well.
You only had, I mean, when you got here, you didn't have a lot of time to build this roster with all these transfers. How do you think you got that part of it right? Because you didn't know a lot of these guys.
Yeah, I mean it's a dizzy couple weeks there. I mean it's nonstop. Guys are in the office, and it's a lot when you. It's easier, and I hope this is my future when you're trying to replace 3 guys in the spring. We were in a situation where whether we wanted to or they wanted to, we just had to replace the entire roster. So you're trying to find this. That was our main thing. We try to find character. We try to find competitive guys. And they had to make winning number one. And right now in the NIL days and things like that, where some guys want stats. They feel like stats are more money. And that wasn't going to fit with our mission and our team. So the buy-in on that and us trying to figure out who fits that, it's not easy with that many, but the guys have completely bought into what we're trying to do.
You guys didn't score. Sorry, you guys didn't score a single point in the last 3 minutes and 48 seconds.
It felt like it.
Still hung on to win. What does that say about kind of the resolve and what you had to do in order to get there?
Yeah, I got to go chop up those last minutes, and I know Jason Edwards had a wide open 3, and I was right in front of me. I thought it was in, and then AJ Hogard had one, and I think it was a couple times where there might have been some guys, some violent hits on our guys on inside. Maybe it was a call, maybe it wasn't. Would have helped alleviate some of the scoring drought. But it is, look at it. If it's a good player like Jason Edwards missing an open shot, we'll take that every time. If we did some things wrong, we got to get back and fix it.
You talk about guys that you brought in, one of those guys being Jaylen, Cary, someone that you recruited, James Madison, comes to you to Vanderbilt. Obviously, he's had a lot of responsibility thrusted on him this season, has had his ups and downs. How big is it for him to have a game like this of this magnitude, and how rewarding is that for you as a coach, just someone to see him really grow?
Well, yeah, so obviously I know Jaylen extremely well. And the first thing that he's 19 years old. He looks like he's a grown man and everything else. He's 19 years old. And so that's exciting. He's going to get better and better along the way. He's competitive, from a competitive family, mom and dad and, brother and everybody else. What he wants things so bad, and it's not everybody's time right away, but you put the work in, you'll get results like this. And so I think as SEC plays come, I think he knows the athletes, the size and everything. And I think he's just in a different zone right now. At LSU, he was really good. And he's had some other really good times. And, look, we're lacking bigs. We're not very deep there. And so even when he's not playing great, we still need him. And give him credit. Somebody mentioned the turnovers to start. He overcame that. And that's not something he was doing earlier in the season. He might make a mistake and then get down on himself. He actually came over and gave me a 5. He goes, Coach, it won't happen again. And I could tell he was over it and he was ready to move on and figure it out. So extremely focused, talented, great personality. There's a reason I brought him here. I think he's going to be really good.
What's it like for a coach in a court storming?
I got great security, got me out, and I didn't have a chance to look at it, so I'll have to see it on the TV. I missed it.
Over the years, Rick Barnes' teams have been known for being physical and tough. You guys out-rebounded them and outscored them in the paint. What does that say about you guys?
Yeah, we told the guys coming in, one of the main things is look, we out-rebound and we win the game. And they're so good. I think they were 6th in the country coming in on rebounding. So that was a priority. That was a focus. The physicality, they're really good at it. And then we had to match it. So we can't let that be overwhelming for them to get that advantage.
Coach, you really took advantage of that stretch without the guys Ziegler on the floor. From your perspective, was he bringing to Tennessee, and how different of a team is it when he's not playing?
Yeah, he's tremendous. He made the threes in the first half, but what I really thought was disrupting us was his assist. I think he might have had 6 assists in the first half. There is so much value in having a veteran guard like that who knows everything, who's been through everything. Not having him on the court, I'll choose that every time because he's a really good player.
2 more.
How important was Chris's defense for you today?
Yeah, he kept getting fouls now. I didn't want to take him off. He brings energy, and, he had the responsibility of guarding Chaz Lanier to start with, and other guys jumped in. And he embraces it. He's competitive. He's buying into his role that we need him like that. And there's different ways to win the game, and that block was a big one.
Jason Edwards had 18 points today. Obviously, hit a bunch of tough shots. Just what kind of lift did he give you guys?
Yeah, he was in a good zone. You know, I talked to him before the game, and you know, I didn't want him to press, and I want him just to let the game come to him, but still be aggressive, and that's not, you know, it's kind of contradicting each other. But we had to find them early, find shots, find stuff for him, and you know, I thought, you know, I'm not scared of him shooting the ball. I know sometimes it looks wild. He's dynamic. We're going to need that sometimes. So I got confidence in him, puts in a bunch of work. And when you have guys who are not scared of the moment, you let them have the moment. And he's not scared of the moment.
Jason said that you mentioned that the crowd was going to be more of an even split than what you would normally see. How did you know to tell them that? Because you hadn't been through a Tennessee game here and seen the Orange before.
Yeah, I mean, you had some advice from different people. And what I didn't want is I didn't want, you know, Tennessee to make a shot and then they hear noise and our guys, you know, getting disappointed. And so, you know, the number one thing we said, we worry about us and we take care of us. And I was like, we're going to have, you know, support in there. But we had to almost anticipate, you know, it's like a neutral environment where it's going to be crowds cheering on both sides. And it was a great environment. It was fun for, I'm sure they would say the same thing, fun environment. I like to get to every single time we play them where there's less and less orange in there. Wins help, and we got to build it that way. But today, our crowd lifted us up and supported us.
All right, thanks, Phil.
Thank you.